Alright, here's the moment of truth. See if this method made him look any better. See how the color turned out on him. Ooh, that's pretty. That's a real nice color. You can see over here, I started to pull away from the bone just a little bit. Let me grab my tongs. We'll lift them up, see if they're done. Now, you know, different people check different ways. I've done this. Some stick a toothpick in it, and if there's no resistance, then they say they're done. Me, I like to put my tongs in them about halfway down, lift them up. Oh yeah, when they start bending over like that, then we're talking some pretty decent ribs. So I'll put these back on. All that good rib juice there as well. That's a combination of a little bit more of the fat cooking out of the ribs, but that brown sugar and that honey and that butter in there as well. Boy, look at that color. Those are going to be nice and tender. These were quite a bit thicker, but look at that. Boy, they are looking good. See how they turned out? Oh, baby. I don't know. If they taste as good as they look, which we'll find out in just a little while, then this may be a keeper method. We'll see. Oh, yeah, look at that. They're just about folding in two. So we'll see how it goes, but I mean, it's kind of dark in there. You see I just put all the ribs back in there. Those pans have the pork butts in them. Here's the brisket down here, the flat end. There's some more pork butts down there, and then of course the burnt ends. So we'll close up the lid and check on them in just a little while. Alright, here are the ribs. They're pretty much done. I just put a sauce glaze on it, so they're a lot shinier than they were about 60 seconds ago. And put it in the tray back in, let that set up, and then we'll be ready for slicing. Alright, well, the feed is pretty much over. All of Chuck's family and friends showed up. There were, I don't know, 15, 16 of us all in all. And I didn't get a chance to to show you the slicing of the ribs or anything like that, because when they hit, and they were hungry. So we were moving fast and furious getting things out. I will show you what's left over though, because I do have some ribs and brisket left. As you can see on the ribs, they turned out not too bad. They weren't falling off the bone tender, which is good. They had good bite through. The glaze that I put on there, I think I'll probably not glaze them and put them back in next time. When we glazed them and foiled them, I think I like doing that, but putting the extra glaze on it while they're in the smoker and leaving it in there for a while, no, made it just a little bit too sticky for me, for my taste anyway. The burnt ends turned out pretty good, had good flavor. The brisket, although it's looking a little bit dry right now, had really decent color. You know, I mean, nice and moist. So that's destined to be chopped brisket now for sandwiches later on. The pulled pork, I haven't even gotten to it yet. Chuck had plenty of pulled pork for everybody, so I just left mine on the smoker. The chicken turned out, you know, pretty good. I was real happy with it. Tried a different, not brining, but a different marinating process this time, where I used Italian dressing and, oddly enough, ginger ale. Just thought, give it a shot, see how it turns out. And it was pretty good. I was happy with it, and I'll probably try that again at least one more time. Maybe the first competition we'll do it and then see how the judges think, what they think of it. But the skin was good, had good bite through, the texture was good on it, the flavor was good. As I mentioned earlier in one of the other clips, we weren't going for really pretty food this time. We weren't being judged on appearance of the food, but I certainly did want to practice more than anything on all of the meats that we did. I wanted to practice the taste, the flavor, the texture, and on the chicken I wanted to work that skin some more. And I'm real happy with that process, the whole bath process and then putting it back on the grill to firm up a bit. That was good. Something else I did for the ribs, as well as the chicken, that I was pleased with, is the Mojo rub. You know, using it straight as it's sold on mojorub.com. Turned out really good for the bigger meats. But for the chicken and the ribs, I ran it through a spice grinder, make it almost powder-like, and gave it a nice coating, and that, I think, attributed to real nice color for both the chicken and the ribs as well. So we'll continue to do that and then shake it on in a real nice even glaze, or coating rather, with that. So, oh gosh, I don't even know what time it is now. It's probably 12:30, 1 o'clock at this point. And people came in, went fast and furious through the food, and there was lots of it. So between the cooking that Chuck and I did, and Jenny, Chuck's wife, worked really hard on making a really nice choco flan cake. She made potato salad. Other folks brought in deviled eggs. There were chips. We certainly were not lacking for food. In fact, the 2 pans that you just saw a while ago, that's what was left over just on 2 racks of ribs that I cut up, and the brisket that I had as well. So all in all, it was a fun experience. I was real glad that Chuck invited me out to this little warm-up cook-off, kind of a spring training of sorts, as one of my friends talked about on Facebook. It was like spring training, and I kind of have to agree. After not cooking all of the meat categories for so long, it's nice to kind of get the mind back in shape, that muscle memory, if you will, of going through the process, getting the timing down, and so forth. And although we do a handful of contests each year, I think we did 8 total in 2009, and on track to do maybe about the same number this year. I probably could use with practicing some of the cuts that I don't cook very often, like the brisket, the chicken. Although good, and we've done well with them, just something that I tend to be a little more critical on myself than a lot of folks, but I always think there's room for improvement. So we'll keep working on it, and hopefully we'll document some other adventures, both on the contest circuit as well as some adventures that I'll be undertaking in the next few months, going out maybe to different restaurants, just doing a little Rhino road trip to those places as well. And and I do have one Rhino road trip that I already have all the footage for. In fact, I've had the footage for a long time, and Chuck reminds me quite frequently. I did a little Rhino road trip to watch Chuck make charcoal. He makes his own charcoal. Who does that? So we'll get that footage clipped back together, and hopefully out on the internet as well. So all in all, really good, fun experience, and had a great time. Food turned out good. What was even better, all the friendship that came along with the people gathering. That's always the best time, not just at events like this, family get-togethers, friend get-togethers, but even on the contest circuit. If it weren't for all the great barbecue family and the barbecue folk out there, it wouldn't be worthwhile doing this. So until next time, Carpe Q, everybody. I'll see you later.